Yo, what's going on, Kicks Army? Real quick, if you're a basketball fan like myself, go ahead and check out the Hoops Amino app for all things basketball related. It's a great community with lots of content to look through, so if you're interested, click the link down below in the description. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about Melo potentially joining the Rockets, the Cavs re-signing Kevin Love, and Derozan's response to being traded. Let's get it. Now, while I don't believe it's official just yet, Melo does plan to sign with the Houston Rockets as soon as his buyout clears with the Atlanta Hawks, which is good for him, but at the same time, I really feel like it's such a fall from grace for Melo. After his career said and done, Melo will be in the Hall of Fame for sure. This man was in the same draft class as LeBron James, and even though that LeBron James is kind of the exception to the rule, they both showed extreme promise of being elite athletes. And while LeBron has had an amazing career thus far and continues to have an amazing career, it looks like Melo really hasn't done much over the past few years. He had one good season with the Knicks where they made it to the second round, but even just saying that seems underwhelming for a player of his caliber. Besides winning 3 gold medals for Team USA, his major accomplishment is winning the scoring title in 2013 where he averaged almost 29 points a game that season. Now, Carmelo is supposed to be known as an elite scorer, which you could say that he is, but aside from that, he's not really well versed. He's certainly not known for his defense, and one of the biggest gripes the media has had with him over the years is that he hasn't really evolved as a basketball player. Part of greatness is innovation, and one of the most important things you can do for yourself is to be self-aware of who you are and what you're capable of being. Melo has already made a decent amount of cash. I mean, the guy is getting paid over $20 million this season to not play for a team. And now he will have the opportunity to add to his resume with the chance of going to the Rockets and potentially winning a chip. Melo has only made it to the conference finals once in his career, and that was way back when he played for Denver, so he hasn't seen too much playoff success at all. He's a great player, but unless he comes into the Rockets with the mindset that he needs to do whatever the team needs him to do, he's gonna waste his time over there for sure. I mean, last season he laughed at the idea of coming off the bench, even though that seemed to be the best idea for him considering how that team was ran. And honestly, he's a scary guy to have coming off the bench with a second unit, but I believe his pride is kind of holding him back from even thinking about that. He's probably been a starter his entire life ever since he was a kid, so I'm sure in his mind coming off the bench would just be laughable and almost disrespectful, even though it's not. In Houston, he would certainly be a third option to James Harden and Chris Paul. And even then, when he gets most of his looks, they're going to be catch and shoot opportunities as opposed to ISO ball, which is what he's used to. I just hope for his sake that he takes this next opportunity seriously and with an open mind. Otherwise, he'll just have to deal with being a player that was known for scoring and not much more. On to the next topic, the Cavs signed Kevin Love to a 4-year, $120 million deal. That's $30 million a season, which is probably not what he's worth unless he can go back to being the Kevin Love that we saw in Minnesota, averaging over 20 points and 10 rebounds. I'm not too surprised that the Cavs signed him though. Now that LeBron is left, it's not like any free agents are clamoring to go to Cleveland anytime soon, so they made a smart decision to sign him to secure a player worth seeing. I think without him on the team would not be interesting at all to watch, and even with him on the team, they're not that interesting to watch. So yeah, they kind of had to do something. I have them making like the 7th or 8th seed at best, and then getting bounced in the first round for sure. Now, what could be the outcome of this is that they could see how he plays next season, and if he performs really well, they could either keep him on the roster as a solid player or trade him for some decent value in return. Kevin Love, for one reason or another, has underperformed over the last 4 years. He did alright in the regular seasons, but in the playoffs where stars are defined, where stars really make their money, he really wasn't too impressive considering he was part of the big 3 with LeBron and Kyrie. However, I really wouldn't feel too bad for him. This guy's gonna get $30 million a season over the next 4 years, so yeah, he'll be just fine. And finally, we got a nice 20-minute interview from DeMar DeRozan released, and by the way, if you didn't see like the original posting of the video, that was all messed up. Like the audio was from DeRozan from one side of the earbud or whatever, and then the audio from the interviewer was on the other side. It was all messed up. The lighting was really weird. It was like really dark. Like I don't know what intern was in charge of uploading that video, but yeah, I'm pretty sure they got fired. Like when I was watching it, I was thinking to myself, I'm like, you know what, this is actually a pretty terrible experience, but because I want to hear what he says, I'm going to watch it anyway. The main thing that stuck out is how he felt so betrayed by the Raptors for trading him after all that he's done for the franchise, which I completely understand. The man took a pay cut to help the team's salary. He said he didn't even consider looking at other teams during his free agency because he wanted to be a Raptor for life. That's how in he was with the Raptors. Now, I'm happy for him because he's in a much better organization, and at the very least a much more stable organization where they're going to develop him and help him grow to be a great player. But Toronto, man, you guys better hope Kawhi stays, otherwise this might have been a terrible mistake. Think about it, they had an all-star level player that was committed to trying to improve every season as a player and committed to the franchise. It's not like other free agents are lining up to go play in Toronto, and they've had a history of their notable players leaving, so to trade the best player in your franchise history doesn't look good on your team. Think about what message this sends to other players around the league. Even though I don't think anyone of value is thinking of going to Toronto, now they're definitely not after seeing what they did to DeMar. However, from a business aspect, they probably made a good decision risking this for Kawhi. After all, if for whatever reason Kawhi decides to stay in Toronto, that's a great look. He is a much better upgrade over DeMar DeRozan, but he is not likely to stay. At least I don't think he's likely to stay, so that's where this big risk comes into play, so they better hope they can keep him. So I can say from a business aspect, I can see why they made this decision, but from a moral standpoint, I don't agree with how they went about it. But let me know what you guys think of this, along with anything else I talked about in the video, in the comment section down below. And as always, the stencil for this video is going to be available over at KicksArt.com, and feel free to send me a message in that contact tab requesting a stencil that's not on the site. After I upload this video, I'm going to be working on another 3 stencils that are going to be uploaded, so go ahead and check out the site, see if there's anything new that you wanted, and of course send me a comment over on that tab. But that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button or the logo icon on the screen. Don't forget to hit that bell for post notifications. Check out some of these other sneaker drawing videos, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace!